But we're going to move on and look at the Detroit Lions, Mark. This is a team that before the podcast, me and you were kind of running through our predictions a little bit. And this entire NFC North, we didn't hit it. We missed the nail on this one. Like, missed the nail, hit our thumb, and now we're sucking our thumb like King Richard in Disney's Robin Hood.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough because you can never forget that the Lions once went 0-16. You can never get that out of your mind. It's just impossible to get it out of your mind, and therefore you think that they're always probably going to be bad, right? Every single year they're going to be bad. No, but even when we were talking about the NFC North, although to be fair, we were saying what's wrong with the NFC North, and there's nothing wrong with the Detroit Lions. They're proving that every day now. It's just kind of one of these things where we didn't really give them the love, we didn't really give them the respect, and here they are, they're bouncing in there. To be fair, this division is still anybody's game. Detroit and Minnesota are technically tied. They're both 5-4 here. Green Bay's only 4-5. All it takes is for one of these teams to go on a run, and then that can change everything, really. I mean, it's not going to happen, but technically the Chicago Bears could still win out and do something. Once again, not going to fucking happen, but I'm just saying this division is still anybody's game. Everyone's stuck in the middle.
Mark doesn't want to piss off any more
I gotta be really fucking clear when I talk now.
Mark's basically saying you fuckers don't get sarcasm. That's 99% of what Mark is. I just like
to piss Ricky off.
Well, yeah, and that's what the Viking pokes come from. But really, it's a 3-team race, and I mean, with the Lions, can they win the division? Yeah, and really, right now they are on the right side of the momentum because they come off a big win to the Vikings. Ever since going 1-3, they're now 4-1. They've got the Jaguars next. That's a win. You get the Vikings then at home. I mean, that's a game you could easily win because, I mean, you beat us in our home stadium, the first team to beat us in that new stadium, and now you get us at home on Thanksgiving. The schedule is very favorable. I mean, the Saints will be a tough game, but, like, you look at their next 4 games, the Saints is your toughest game. You play Jacksonville at home, the Vikings at home, you go to New Orleans, and then you come back home to play the lowly Bears. I mean, this is a Lions team where, let's say they win 3 out of 1. Let's say they lose that Saints game, Mark. They're sitting at 8-5. You could then lose the rest of those games in an 8-8, probably make the playoffs in some years, but that's where it's going to get interesting. You have to beat up on these next 4 games, and I would say go 3-1, maybe even 4-0, because then you get the Giants on the road, then you get the Cowboys on the road. Those could be 2 losses, and then you're sitting there against the Packers on New Year's Day going, hey, we might have to win this just to get in the playoffs, because if you go 9-7, I don't know if that might not be enough to make the playoffs this year in the NFC.
Yeah, this is going to be very important for the Detroit Lions here. Jaguars, the division games are a little tough, except for maybe the Bears here. And to be fair, though, the Detroit's already lost to the Bears once. But you got to win all these things because it's not easy at the end when you're playing the Giants, the Cowboys, and then the Packers. But to be fair, I would say that the Vikings probably have an even harder schedule because you're going to play the Cardinals, who I know the Cardinals are not doing great this year, but they're still kind of swinging up a little bit.
Cardinals, Lions, Cowboys, I am scared.
You should be. I mean, the Vikings, you still had the Colts and the Jaguars, which, you probably got those ones. But moving over to the Green Bay Packers, they're going to play the Redskins. They're going to play the Eagles, the Texans, who play up.
Seahawks.
Seahawks, even though I guess the Texans are probably down from, or the Packers are probably the worst. I don't know. Would they be the favored team to win that game?
What, the
against
Packers
the Texans?
And the I would think so, only because I would take even though Aaron Rodgers is on a little bit of a just
struggle. He's struggling.
He's struggling.
I don't want to say he's on a decline. He's just struggling.
Not a decline, a downcline.
He's on the downcline.
Right. But I would still take any day. I would still take Aaron Rodgers over Brock the Cock. That's just plain and simple. Brock the Cock has shown that he's been overpaid this year, especially in my mind. But really, it's just with me, it's momentum. And The one team that I think the Lions need to be, it's interesting because schedule-wise, they should be afraid of the Packers because games like the Eagles, games like the Texans, then the Bears and Vikings, depending on how those play, the Packers might have a more winnable schedule than the Vikings who play the Cardinals. They play the Cowboys. Like, those are two tough games already facing a 4-game losing streak. However, talent-wise, I want to say the Vikings are the team that the Lions need to be afraid of. Talent-wise, it's the Vikings. Schedule-wise, it's the Packers.
It's tough. This whole division here, it is very middle of the pack right now.
It's going to be a crapshoot.
Pretty much, because you look at these teams, and the Lions have a bad running game. They have a good to average. I don't want to say it's too great passing game right now, and their defense is pretty average, slightly above average. Vikings have a shitty run game, a bad passing game because of that offensive line to both, but a great fucking defense.
And that's why the one thing I thought today, I know one of the moves the Vikings did make today was they signed Rashad Hill, ex-practice squatter on the offensive line from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Don't you love that practice squad of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I'll take any offensive line help that I can get right now.
Jamarcus Webb might still be available, man.
Well, no, when I saw that we cut Blair Walsh, I know we got Forbath and he's going to replace Blair Walsh, but as soon as I saw the Seahawks waive Christine Michaels today, I went fucking claim him. Claim him. Because really, Asiata's not bad, but have you seen what Christine Michaels can do? Maybe he can be a shot in the arm to this run game.
Not if you don't have an offensive line.
That's where I am right now. Well, the offensive line in Seattle wasn't that good.
This is this is probably the worst offensive line in football.
They gave away their center to get Jimmy Graham, who took a few games to beat.
You guys also don't have Russell Wilson.
I know we don't have Russell Wilson. I know we don't have Doug Baldwin, but it was one of those things where I'm like, maybe it's a step up from Matt Asiata, and that's not a slight at Matt Asiata because I like Asiata. Ooh. However, I am really afraid as a Vikings fan that we may lose this division to the Lions because I think they're in the driver's seat. They are. Like I said, the next 4 games, very winnable, and then it's whatever they do in those last 3.
I really think that this division is just a crapshoot. It really is to me. It's just kind of the flip a coin, let's see who wins. And the thing is, a team can win this division with 9-7, and other teams can be 9-7 too, but still not get into the playoffs because NFC East has 2 really good teams, being the Dallas and the Giants, and the Redskins are a good team, and the Eagles are a good team. Redskins
are technically the 6th seed right now.
They're getting in there. I would still put my Giants slightly above them, just because I think that they're the better. I don't want to say they're the better team. I just trust Eli Manning.
It's interesting.
I don't actually. It's just the defense.
Because we give the NFC least a bunch of shit for being the least, but this year they've been the beast. I mean, the Cowboys are at the top. The Giants right now, the 5th seed. The Redskins are the 6th seed. And who's the 7th seed just on the outside? The Eagles. That is my prediction of, 3 teams from the NFC North are going to make the playoffs. I meant to say the East. That's what I meant to say.
Of course.
But I just got them confused.
It's
East,
tough.
North directions.
They share a lot of letters.
They're hard, but really they have been the best division in this NFC. But really, it's a crapshoot because the Vikings are right there. The Cardinals are right there. The Lions, if you even fumble a few games in this next 4 stretch, let's say you get upset by the Jaguars. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what if? Then you lose that division. You can lose that division by 1 game, and you could be sitting there 9-7 going, we didn't win the division, we didn't get in the playoffs because we lost that 1 game we should have won. Yeah. And that's what could happen. That's how close. They say that football, the big cliche, it's a game of inches. This could be the season for the NFC North where it comes down to 1 game again, like it did last year. Last year, Vikings had to beat the Packers and vice versa to win the division. It could happen again. This time, the Lions could be that team fighting for the division.
Yep, much like much of the NFC, flip your coin. it's still anybody's game here. I don't want to count anybody out, except for the Bears. Don't want to count anybody out, but it's going to be tough because the Lions, like you said, they've got a lot of momentum, and the Vikings and the Packers are dragging their feet right now.
What year were you born, Mark?
91.
91. I was 90. We're going to play a little game to end this segment, unless there's anything else about the Lions that you want to hit.
0-16.
When was the last year, take a guess of the last year the Lions had, and I'll give you a hint, it's within both of our lifetimes. The last year the Lions had a home playoff game.
A home playoff game?
A home playoff game.
I'm just going to go with a good old 95.
Close. January 8th, 1994. You were 3, I were 4.
I was very close.
I
Almost.
was not watching football at that time. The last time that they had a win, January 5th of 1992. I was 2 years old. You were a single-year-old. Mark.
And when was the last time that they won a Super Bowl, Ricky?
Never.
Yep. Never.
They actually played no, scratch that. January 5th of 92. I wasn't even 2 yet because my birthday was the 17th.
There you go.
So I wasn't even 2 and I wasn't even 3. So I was 3-1.
Ricky wearing diapers. Imagine that, everybody.
I was 3-1 the last time that the Lions went to the playoffs. But is there anything with the Lions or this NFC North that you think that we didn't hit?
No, the only thing I got to say is, get a coin that somehow has 3 sides to it and flip it.
What?
It's a 3-headed race.
I get it because there's 3 teams.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, sooner or later we'll be able to eliminate one of them, right? Because one of them might be able to fall off. Hopefully
I don't know.
It's the Packers, not the Vikings. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. What do you guys think? How are the Lions going to fare in the divisional race? And what do you think about the NFC North in general and all the teams, even the Bears who got the Lions treatment this time and didn't even get a mention until here at the end?